All right, good afternoon, traders. Today, what a rally today. Today is September 22nd, 2025. My name is John Carignan. I am the lead instructor here at the BYOB Trading Room. Thank you for being here. Thank you, everybody out there in podcast land, digital land, cyber land. Thank you, all my paying subscribers in the room. Thank you so much. I don't take that for granted. I just want to say there's a lot of people in the room that made some really nice money today. All right, really nice gains. I think somebody got 16 daily goals while he was at the airport trading. Another guy got 10 daily goals. I know somebody doubled their account today. Wow, just I'm floored. I'm glad my strategies work. Thank you for being here. Yeah, oh, happy day. You betcha. All right, let's look at the market today. Looks like it's about 4 o'clock. I don't think we're going to close below 667. I doubt it. We'll see what happens here. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. SPY, 10-minute chart. Got a 10-minute uptrend coming into the close. What did we do today? Well, we had a 10-minute uptrend coming into the close on Friday. We were looking for a continuation of the 10-minute uptrend right here. And so price action in the pre-market, I'm just going to point it out to you. All right, if you're here in the room, I said we have a 10-minute uptrend in the pre-market over VWAP with a break of the rubber band candle closing up here. Okay, so price action. Well, we had a 5-minute. All right, we didn't have a 10-minute. We had a 5-minute that broke up over there. You can see the 10-minute, the first candle to close right up here. That was an entry. A little more wick than body and tail. You could have entered on that candle on the 5, or you could have entered on the very next candle. Either one, you were down in this area down here. So there's SPY, and we traded the 10-minute uptrend. We had a trend day. Okay, so trend day is when you got a 10-minute uptrend, and it's above VWAP, and it's between the hours of 11 and 12, that 10-minute uptrend stays intact. All right? Then there's a 70% chance that 10-minute uptrend will run on and continue till 2 p.m., 2:30, reversal time at 2:30. And then there's a 30% chance that price closes at the end of the day at the high of the day. So there's SPY on the 10-minute. Okay, and let's take a look at the 2-hour. 2-hour uptrend coming into the close. All right, and what did we have today? We had 2-hour uptrend, and what did I say my favorite trade is? It's a 10-minute uptrend over VWAP that resides in the 2-hour uptrend, that resides in the daily uptrend, that resides in the weekly uptrend, that resides in the monthly uptrend. Okay, so when I see that, that's my favorite trade, because you got all the bigger time frames helping to support my little 10-minute uptrend. Okay, so that's exactly what I like. All right, all those bigger time frames supporting it. And of course, we had a beautiful trend day today. Beautiful, really beautiful. We went from 662 clear up to 667, and then we caught some resistance right at 667. All right, so there's SPY on the 10-minute chart. And you can see on the 2-hour chart, we have a 2-hour uptrend coming into the close. On the daily chart, it's a new all-time high for SPY. All right, so that's bullish and in an uptrend, okay? Because it's making a new all-time high. QQQ. Let's take a look at QQQ. QQQ, new all-time high for QQQ. That's bullish and in an uptrend. Markets are still bullish, people. All right, 10-minute chart. Got a 10-minute consolidation coming into the close. On the 2-hour, we got a 2-hour uptrend coming into the close. Again, 10-minute uptrend today in the QQQ. All right. 10-minute uptrend, continuation of the 10-minute uptrend that we left off with on Friday. Again, I like the 10-minute uptrend over VWAP when it resides inside that 2-hour uptrend. Bingo. All right. That resides inside the daily uptrend, inside the weekly, inside the monthly. Again, got all the bigger time frames pushing and supporting my little 10-minute uptrend. Okay, so that's what I like. All right, QQQ and SPY, both excellent performance today. All right, for QQQ and SPY. All right, let's go back to the daily chart and let's see what the others did. Let's take a look at IWM. IWM puts in a lower high, lower low, but closed over the bullish trap, over the rising 17. That is at the top of quadrant 4. That is still bullish, still in an uptrend, IWM. Let's take a look at Diamond Dow. Diamond Dow did, it's going to be close. No, not quite. I see some air. Got a higher high and a lower low, but closed over a bullish trap over the rising 17. Closing up at the top of quadrant 4. That's bullish and still in an uptrend for Diamond Dow. All right, let's take a look at FNGU. I think that one had a good day. We'll see. And it's going to be close. High 31.10, high 31.15. Okay, got a new all-time high for FNGU on the daily chart. Again, closing up at the top of quadrant 4. That's bullish. I'm going to zoom way out so you can see. And still in an uptrend. All right, let's take a look at some silver and gold. Silver got a new, what did I say, 14-year high. Okay, that's bullish and still in an uptrend right there. Silver. Let's take a look at gold. Gold got a new all-time high. That's bullish, still in an uptrend for gold. UNG. Okay, UNG still in a downtrend. They have not made a higher high yet. And bearish down here at the bottom of quadrant 1. Okay, so bearish and still in a downtrend on quadrant 1, UNG. All right, let's take a look at USO. USO, okay, as you can see, not in the upper third, not in the lower third. Okay, so this is neutral in between here, neutral. Okay, it goes up. See how it cannot hold the higher ground, and it gives it up. It does it again, and it gives it up. It goes up again, and it gives it up. And now you actually have, as of today, a head and shoulders pattern. All right, so we'll see what happens, but you have another head and shoulders pattern here. You got a big one here. See the left shoulder, right shoulder? That'd be the head. You've got a little one right here. That would be the head. That would be the left shoulder. This would be the right shoulder. Oil being played to keep inflation down. Well, it's obviously it's not been bullish for a while. It's just neutral. Price action made a lower low. All right, so they were in an uptrend because they took out this high. Well, they're back in a downtrend because they took out that low. So they're in a downtrend and neutral. The good news are on the northern side of the 50-yard line. All right, so they're on the bullish side of the 50-yard line or the midpoint there. So there's USO. Let's take a look at technicals. T2101. Okay, what did we do here today on T2101? Did we make... Looks like we made a penny lower low here on T2101 on the 15-minute chart. Again, we're losing more and more market breadth every single day, getting less and less participation. T2101 could be a change, maybe a consolidation over to the right, or a harsh pullback. All right, this is where things reverse in here or change to have a different look. So we could get a pullback And it could have a pullback in the form of a bull flag, and we could have a pullback as in a straight down. Now, if it comes down hard and fast, okay, it's likely to bounce on support. If it melts down, okay, it's likely to melt right through support like hot lava, all right? So if it goes slow, all right, if we do have a reversal, it goes slow, all right, price is likely to melt right through support. If it comes down hard and fast, it's more than likely to bounce like that red rubber school ball, okay? So keep an eye on the nature of the pullback in case we do get one. Markets are still bullish. We're in the midst of an AI bubble. We could get a harsh pullback. We'll see what happens, all right? But I just want to make you aware. Look at the nature of the move on the pullback, all right? T2122. Well, we did not make it into the buyer's chop zone except we just poked our eyes up over there, and then we had to duck back in today. So we actually made it into the sell zone, if you believe it or not, down here with all the bullish price action we had. Makes me believe FNGU kind of carried the load today. CNT 2122 open up in the sell zone. Here's some good, there's a little bit of good news, all right, here, in that bad news is we made a lower low. The good news is we're putting in a bear flag, all right, and we've got a series of higher lows through here, okay. Hopefully it's not a bear flag. Hopefully they can ramp all the way back up into the buyer's chop zone and into the buy zone, all right. So we'll see what happens. T2122, that is a bear flag we're looking at right now. I hope we don't wind up coming in here into the oversold zone. T2123, of course, T2122 kind of showed us what was going on. Obviously, we're not in an uptrend, okay? So we're still in a downtrend because here's a low. We made lower lows. It's bullish up over the 200 SMA. We're still holding the higher ground up here, okay? Just a sloppy bad day today for T2123, looking like they got ramped up near the end of the day, only to sell off on the last candle. So there's T2123. On the 15-minute, it's in a downtrend, but we are bullish up over the 200 SMA. We are consolidating at the highs, okay? That is normal. All right, so that's still bullish up there. We haven't broken anything yet, other than we haven't broke the 200. We haven't broke anything yet. So we'll see what happens. T2123. 3-bar chart. As you can see on the full picture of the T2123, we're still up here at the all-time highs. Remember, this was the prior all-time high. Okay, it took us a while to take that out. Okay, so we're consolidating over to the right, up at the highs here of quadrant 4. So you can see we're up over 200 SMA. All right, we haven't made any lower lows. This would be the low to beat down here. So we're still in an uptrend, and we're holding the higher ground on T2123. All right, FNGU. Today's price action, again, more consolidation over prior consolidation. So you can see more like a continuation of Friday's consolidation. You can see Friday consolidates up over Thursday's consolidation. Let's see if I can pull up drawing tools. Maybe they show up, maybe they don't. But you can see right here is over this day. It's not over this day. It's kind of equal to that day, but it's up over the 200 SMA. So that's bullish right up there. Okay, so I'm still counting all of this as bullish right up here. Okay, all that price action. This would be Friday. This would be today. Okay, up over all of this right here. Okay, so that's still bullish consolidation over consolidation. All right, so let's take a look at, let's go back and take a look at SPY just for a minute. All right, let's look at SPY on the VZO, okay? See if we have any signs of things maybe going to dip. I don't know. We'll see. Let's check out the VZO. And I like to look at it on the 2-day chart. Kind of shows me what's going on the 2-day chart. Okay, notice after every one of these failure to get up over the 9 EMA here, okay, we had a pullback to the 8 EMA or to the 17. Okay, so you can see crosshairs right there, pull back to the 8 right there. See that? Pull back to the 8 right there. All right, so another one we failed right here and got a pullback. Again, you can see another pullback to the 8 EMA with this little red nub right there. Okay, so then here's another one. Notice price action pulls back to the 8 EMA right there. So I'm looking to see if we're going to get a pullback to the 8. Based on the VZO, this is super bullish. That's at really high highs, up over some of those relief rally highs right there. That is looking good so far on the 2-day chart. So no sign of that happening right now. So we're still bullish. Price is getting ramped up. We could start seeing some really big green candles. We'll see what happens, but right now everything looks like structures kind of holding together right now. Just the breath has just gotten down into the reversal zone. All right, so that's where we are today. All right, so see where price closes today. Looks like it's going to close 6678, 66678. So we'll see what happens with that. All right, that's it. John 6676. You were thinking what I was? Yeah, I was thinking it was going to close at 6667, 667, and it didn't. It got close up there, so we'll see what happens. But it's done for the day. Didn't picture that happening. I actually pictured a nice rally up over probably the 668. All right, so that's it for right there. All right, how we made money today. Okay, if you bought the 10-minute uptrend and you just stuck with it, it was pretty good. It was pretty easy. All right, so go to the 10-minute uptrend. You can see it right here. And I'll pull up a few of my options that I traded. So here's the first one, some 0 DTE 601 calls on the Qs. All right, and you can see right there, I sold into strength right there. Okay, so bought the dips, sold into strength on that 10-minute uptrend over VWAP right there. Okay, got some SPY 667. Okay, bought the dip, sold into strength, bought the dips of all these candles because I got a 10-minute uptrend still intact and sold into strength up there. So take that off. All right, made 8,900 on that one. Okay, the other one, QQQ, 9,400. Okay, about 1,300 on this. Again, bought the 10-minute uptrend and just sold into strength. Reloaded, sold into strength. Reloaded, sold into strength. Okay, and that was 1 DTE, 667 calls. QQQ, 610 calls, 1 DTE. Let's see what we got. Looks like I just bought some, and I would have liked to gotten those, but I didn't. Anyways, that one didn't trade. $90 on these QQQ calls, 2 days till expiration, 610 strike. Again, bought the lows of the candles and sold into strength as price rises up there. I'm selling into strength up there. 1,200 on the 670 calls, 4 days till expiration. Bought the opening candles right here, had that 10-minute uptrend, and sold into strength on those. Okay, QQQ 615, 4 days till expiration, 2,600 there. Again, bought the dip, sold into strength, sold into strength. Another one, QQQ 625, bought the dip, sold into strength. Obviously, you can see that one made $274, $144 here on this, bought the dip and sold into strength up top there. Okay, did purchase some Intel calls right here. Okay, so I'm going to pull up my Intel map so you can kind of see it and put it on the daily chart. Okay, so here's my Intel map. All right, so here's the pullback on the Intel on the daily. I think they will bounce somewhere around $28. That would be the upper third. I think they want to remain in the upper third. I would venture to say we could get a bounce tomorrow. So that's my strategy, is to accumulate coming right into the bounce area right here, which is coming up right at $28. That would be the upper third of the quadrant line. So I'm looking for a bounce there. And I'm also looking for a bounce here on minor support. All right, that would be right here. Small bounce here, much better bounce off of minor support, which would be this wick, and that wick right there, right at the midpoint. Okay, right there. So I'm accumulating for a bounce up. All right, and I'm accumulating the 60 days till expiration. 29 strike options. Those are in November. All right. So that's it for today. All right. So I'll see everybody tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Hey, let's do it again. Friday was a great day. Today was a great day.
For news, you can use it.
All right. So let's just have another great day on tomorrow. All right. So we'll see what happens. All right. Thank you, everybody. Robert got 4 daily goals. I'm going to say a lot of people got a lot of daily goals today. A lot of daily goals. I mean, would you want to, let me ask you guys, would you want to be anywhere else but here? Thanks, Rod. I mean, would you want to be anywhere else but here? I mean, I think I try to make it very easy. It's the 10-minute uptrend over VWAP. That's the one to follow. All right? Because it just stays open longer. It's a terrific room. Thanks, Robert. You know, I can't see wanting to be anywhere else. All right? So, of course, I made 22 daily goals today. I got a whole month worth of daily goals in one day. Nowhere else, John. Thanks, guys. All right, see you all tomorrow. All right, 8 o'clock in the morning. Let's do it again.